True Grit 2017. So here I'm doing the water crossing, which was a creek. The problem I was having here was that I couldn't actually feel the rocks underneath me. So I had a lot of falls. I was trying not to use crutches. This leg I'd only got 2 days before, which is the Otterbock X3. And I actually hadn't used it in water before, so yeah, it was a new experience for me. I was having to get a bit of support off my teammates, but I think I managed it pretty well. But for the most part, it was easier to be able to swim than it was to be able to walk. Yep, this was a bit of an issue because I had my socket full of water, which I realised I hadn't sealed it properly, and then I was having to hop. I landed a bit heavy here on the prosthetic and got a bit sore, as you can see I'm now limping. But yeah, I managed these ones pretty well, just a quick hop over it. Yeah, so the event was 11 kilometers and 32 obstacles, and we ran it twice. So I ran it on the Saturday and the Sunday. It was great fun. Yep, so I tried to put my prosthetic up first and then realized I don't have the ability to pull myself up with it. So then put my good leg up, and with a bit of help from my team, managed to get over and slide down. My leg actually twisted on the way down, as you can see there, that it's at an angle. So I had to do a quick change, take it off, dry it all out. My shorts and my t-shirt were actually running all the water down into my socket. Even though it was sealed, it was getting in the top. So yeah, I actually had to take my shirt off to try and allow it to dry a bit more. Alright, yeah, the balance beams. I didn't have the balance with my prosthetic, so I kind of adapted and just hopped it. Pretty long hop. The boards had a lot of flex in them, but yeah, managed to get across and landed in the mud, and everyone cheered, and it's pretty great. Alright, this was one of the harder obstacles for me. With the hills, I was struggling. I still had a lot of water in my prosthetic, and as you can see, I'm using my hip a bit more than I'm actually using my glutes. Because I haven't had a leg that's allowed me to use my glutes, they're pretty weak, and I know it's probably one of my weaker parts of myself. So here, like, the upper body's fine. It's a 20 kilo jerry can, and it wasn't that bad. But it's actually getting my leg in front of me and getting it straight and being able to push off through my heel and using my glutes. But I'm pretty fatigued by this point, even though I think we're only about 5 obstacles down out of the 32. Same on the way down. It's being able to put my heel down and roll over without my knee collapsing. Because I hadn't had this leg for long, it was being able to trust it. And anyone that's used a basic knee knows that they just collapse on you every 2 seconds. So it was having the encouragement to be able to roll through it. I started off trying to walk the lily pads, but yeah, it didn't get very far. Due to the fact I'm quite heavy on my legs, that it didn't really work. Therefore, I decided to commando curl like a boss. And yeah, stood up and jumped across, and it wasn't too bad. Get a high five from my brother, and then a high five from one of the ladies that was pretty enthusiastic about watching me. Yeah, flip, because why not? Alright, so by this point I'm bashing the crap out of my prosthetic. It's 160,000 and it's only on loan, so I didn't want to destroy it. And I was having issues actually being able to boost myself up, so for me it's easier to take off my prosthetic and just hop up and down the obstacles. As you'll see in a second, when I swing myself over, I have to lock off with my arms and just rely on my arms while I get my legs over. And then from there I can pretty much just lower myself down. As you watch, I get down pretty quick. I just kind of drop. Alright, so we got the rope climb up, so I got rid of my crutches and tried not to spear the attendant in the head. These guys are all volunteers. They're all people that run the obstacle the next day, so great bunch of people, all really enthusiastic and encouraging, and they give up their day. Alright, yeah, so the idea of this was putting my heel down first and being able to power through my heel and really pull myself up. The only problem I had was getting over the top, which I just kind of had to do a leap of faith. Getting through this, alright, so I've got a carbon fiber foot, so I kept bashing it on the tunnel and crawling forward. I kept getting my knee joint stuck in the concrete. Rope climbs, I'm pretty strong upper body, so this is pretty easy for me. I don't use my legs and just power my way through using my arms, as you can see, and make it look pretty simple. Ring the bell, slide down. Alright, now this one, yeah, this was a interesting obstacle. So, we figured out the distance between my ankle and my knee is the exact same spacing as the net. So I started off trying to just use my arms, but then I was like, oh no, do you know what, I'll use my foot as well. And you can see I put my prosthetic in, and what actually happens is it gets caught in the rope, and the bit of the rope got caught between my socket and my knee, and I actually couldn't get it out. I started panicking a little bit, and then I thought, no, I'm just going to have to rely on my teammate. So you see my brother Andrew is climbing up now, and it takes us about a minute to get me free. I actually have to come down a bit to let the pressure off it. And yeah, he manages to get the knee free, and we're good to go again. On the second day I learnt from this experience and just used my upper body. I had to use the prosthetic for this obstacle because of these stairs down. It would have been a bit hard without him. We made a few adjustments at the top here and dried it all off again and went again. Right, the fire jump. Main obstacle here was not falling in the fire and not melting my leg. But yeah, not too hard. I push off my good leg, land on my good leg.
Alright, 11:30 runners. There's my boy Mark. How you going, bud? Killing it? Good work. He wants it to be harder. 11:30 runners, make your way in, please. Making the start shoot right up the front. Has everyone seen Mark? Look at Mark on the rings right now. Look at him killing it.
I wear my prosthetic for this because I've tried it without the prosthetic, and I actually don't swing in a straight line. So if you can see, I lock off with my arms and I keep myself pretty up. That way I can actually control my swing, and it's kind of like just doing a one-arm pull-up. Rope climb, again due to the spacing for this one, I've taken my leg off just so I don't get it caught. And I just kind of use my left leg to spring up and then catch myself with my arms. It makes it a bit hard for everyone around me because I do spring around a lot. And you can see I'll lock up with my arms and then swing my legs over. And then the way down I just throw myself like I normally do. Alright, for this, this was actually the hard side. We didn't realise that there was an easy side. And yeah, like, I couldn't actually manage to hold on to the little like handhelds because there was literally nothing to hold on to. Even the guys with two legs were struggling. So I kind of used the top and used that as a bit of assistance to get myself across. Alright, the ammo carries. Alright, once again, this is another hard obstacle for me. It's using my leg to try and get up, and I'm really fatigued by this point. My brother Owen, you can see him in the grey singlet. I actually got him to set like checkpoints up the hill, and he would go in front of me and say, alright, get to me, and then I would work my way up a couple of steps at a time. And yeah, we just kept powering through it to get to the top. As you can see here, I'm trying not to fall. My leg's slipping due to it being wet. But yeah, it manages to make it down the hill pretty easily. Yep, so once again for me this is just upper body. It's pretty easy.
Easy.
Get over it pretty quick. Commander crawl, under the net, just stand as dirt. Wouldn't recommend this with a basic prosthetic, but due to the fact it's an X3, it can handle it pretty well. Got a face full of dirt from this guy, so cheers to that, mate. But it's part of the fun. So I tried to do this one with the net just for a bit of timing. We were trying to make a decent time. And you can see I actually struggle a lot more with the prosthetic on. Because it's just a 20 kilo weight really hanging off the bottom of my leg. And then to be able to swing it over as well, I've got to get my left leg a lot higher. So this now is trying to figure out the point where I can swing it over without flipping and landing on my head. You see arms locked off there, and then drop.
Excellent. Well done.
The way down, it was trying not to put the prosthetic near the rope so it didn't get tangled. Alright, this is rope climb. So this is day 2. The first day I didn't actually make it. I've got some major rope burns on my left calf from it. So I went again on the second day. And you can see here I'm actually trapping it below my knee. So I'm not using my right leg at all. And it's pretty much just balancing between my arms and using the back of my leg. I've got some crazy burns and it hurts still today, 2 days later. But yeah, it was so worth it, like, just to be able to get over this obstacle. And the amount of pain I was putting myself through. But this was the only obstacle I failed the day before, so I was making sure I made it.
Keep that leg over. That's it, come on, man.
At this stage, I'm looking at the pole and I'm thinking that's a really long way away. I was trying to work out the distance, whether I could actually swing and walk my way across or not. But yeah, we managed to make it. Alright, let's go back to day 1. Spider webs. Alright, so this for me was like an over and under exercise. And yeah, it was interesting. It was a lot of balance on the leg, figuring out different ways I can swing around. And you know, with a normal prosthetic, how you come down heel first. The X3 allows you to come down anyway, and it's got stabilizers. But it was me trying to learn how that actually works, because this whole test was kind of a test of my leg. Alright, so we got the traverse. Yep, so it's just abseiling down, trusting the prosthetic to come down. And yeah, pretty simple. I was trying to work out whether I can avoid the mud here, and like, yep, nope. Alright, so we got spinning rings. For me, easiest way was underarm grip. Just swinging through it. I think everyone was a bit amazed here. You can see them all with their phones out, because a lot of able-bodied people were failing, and I made it look pretty simple apparently. Once again, same technique, using arms and using the leg to hop up. This one was a bit harder because the holes were a lot springier. And I kept falling through, as you can see. So I was having to turn myself on my side and kind of pull myself up sideways. And yeah, I actually found this one a lot harder than the other rope climbs. I think mainly because of the angle it was on, and also because there was slack in like the actual net. It wasn't a tight net climb like the others. So I was having to work out the space between it and hopping up each space. So I remember remembering at the time, I'm pretty bloody tired, as you can tell by my facials. And then yeah, here it's just trusting myself to flip myself around and start the lower down process. That's my older brother Andrew next to me, and yeah, was pretty much there the whole way helping me through it. He's done some pretty big obstacles himself. He's done a 42 kilometer, which I think we're planning next year as long as doing the 24-hour True Grit Enduro. So yeah, that should be really good. It's going to be tough, and I've got a lot of training to do in the next year. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing what I can push my body through. And then here, yeah, my leg kind of got stuck, so I had to just kind of roll my way. Grace isn't a thing as an amputee. Alright, mud hills. So yeah, once again, easier to do without the prosthetic for me. I'm a lot lighter and a lot more agile. And yeah, just found a bit of hand grips and flung myself around. And then jumped off into the actual mud. It was easier to jump from the top because actually trying to work myself down the mud, as you see the down ramp here. It's a bit slimy. yeah, just trying to find secure hand grips and then push myself up through it. Most of this for me was just upper body. Just pulling myself up. But I think we're 30 obstacles in here, so we're pretty tired. And the mud water was pretty damn cold. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you've made it this far, throw us a subscribe. Or if you've got any questions about what it's like being an amputee or doing obstacle races as an amputee, throw in the comment sections below and I'll be more than happy to have a chat. We are also on Facebook and Instagram, so feel free to head over there and check out our other channels. Have a great day.